I found a notebook in my husband's desk where he'd been practicing how to cry at my funeral. I was looking for a pen in my husband's desk when I found a spiral notebook hidden behind the spare batteries. The first page had my name at the top and the words funeral speech underneath, which was unsettling considering I wasn't planning on dying anytime soon. My husband's handwriting filled the rest of the page with notes like pause here and look down and let voice crack between creepy sentences about what I supposedly meant to him as a wife. I flipped through and found more pages with scripts for what he would say to my family and what he would post online and how he would act at the service, and a timeline in the back with a date circled that was 3 weeks away. He was going to kill me. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped it. I put the notebook back exactly where I found it and didn't say a word. I started watching him differently and noticed how he always handed me the coffee he made instead of letting me pour my own, how he always served my plate first at dinner, how he refilled my water glass without asking. I took my vitamins to a lab downtown and the results showed one of my supplements wasn't a supplement at all. I'd been swallowing low-dose anticoagulants for months without knowing it, and when I looked up what that does to a person over time, I found a list of symptoms that matched everything I'd been feeling. The exhaustion he called stress, the nausea he waved off as anxiety, the brain fog he swore meant I needed more rest. I searched his name with the word wife, and I found an obituary from 11 years ago in another state where his first wife died of a sudden illness at 34, and he was described as devastated. And I sat in my car in a pharmacy parking lot shaking so hard I couldn't hold my phone because I realized I wasn't his first, and I might not even be his second. I stopped taking the vitamins and started palming them every morning while he watched me swallow, but the fog didn't lift and the nausea didn't stop. I noticed the residue in my coffee that I'd always assumed was hard water, and I stopped drinking anything I didn't pour myself, but then I started finding blood in my urine. I stopped eating anything he touched, but then my gums started bleeding when I brushed my teeth and I realized it was in the toothpaste. I switched toothpaste and I started putting his pills in his coffee, and I thought I was finally ahead, but then I woke up with bruises I didn't remember getting, and I knew he had hidden it somewhere else I hadn't found. My vision blurred so bad I couldn't read the labels on my own medicine. I found a bottle hidden in the garage and realized he'd been putting it in the water filter, so I switched to bottled water, but by then the damage was already inside me, and I didn't know if I'd found everything or if I was still swallowing it somewhere I couldn't trace. I doubled what I put in his coffee, and it became a race I couldn't afford to lose. I woke up one morning and couldn't feel my legs for 10 seconds, and I lay there staring at the ceiling thinking, this is how I die, in my own bed, 3 feet away from the man who's killing me. Then the feeling came back and I made it downstairs and he was on the couch looking gray, and I realized I was winning, but I didn't know by how much. A week later, he couldn't get up at all, and I brought him tea and sat beside him and held his hand like a devoted wife should. I walked into our bedroom on a Tuesday morning where he was pale and gray against the pillows, and I sat on the edge of the bed and folded my hands in my lap and cleared my throat like I was about to give a speech. I can't believe she's gone, I said in a trembling voice, and I watched his face as the words registered. She was my everything, and I keep expecting her to walk through the door. I added a pause and looked down and let my voice crack exactly the way his stage directions instructed. I don't know how I'm supposed to go on without her. His face went white and he tried to sit up, but his arms couldn't hold him, and he whispered, "What are you doing?" I smiled at him and said, "Rehearsing." He grabbed my wrist with fingers that had no strength left and said, "What did you do to me?" I looked down at his hand and said, "I thought you wouldn't mind sharing." He started crying and the words came spilling out between sobs. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was confused. I didn't mean it. I love you. I love you so much. It wasn't real. I was never actually going to go through with it. Please, you have to believe me. I would never hurt you. Please call someone. Please help me. I'm begging you. I love you." I sat there for a moment nodding like I understood, and then I gave him a slow clap. "That was pretty good," I said, "but I think you can sell the emotion better still. Once more, with feeling this time." He started clawing at the sheets trying to get up, but his body wouldn't move. I patted his hand. "Don't worry. I called the police 20 minutes ago. You might want to start working on the story you plan to tell them. I'm sure it'll be quite the performance."